Hi Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. I'm going to be doing relationship and career. I'm going to start with relationship, go to career, start off with the general astrology, just 4 different things that I want to mention for this particular week that I think are pretty important. And then I'll go right into relationship and then into career, which I will timestamp in the description box if you guys don't want to hang out for that part. All right, but as far as the astrology goes, Sag, the Mercury is entering Scorpio. Depending on where you live, again, who was in Scorpio, went into Libra, now back into Scorpio on the 10th or 11th, depending on where you live, is entering there. And then there's a new moon in Scorpio. Both of these things are going to be happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house is the house of the self-unconscious. We call it the house of the self-undoing, but that's kind of like a very negative way of looking at things, I think. But it really is where the veil is really thin and where we hang out to really get in touch with what we really want for ourselves, our dreams, how well we connect with our spirituality. It is the deepest psychological placement within your chart. Now, having Mercury in there, Mercury is all about thought, all about communication with self, with others. But because it's in the 12th house, I feel like it's more than anything, you're going to be communicating with yourself. There's going to be a lot of epiphanies. There's going to be a lot of realizations out of nowhere. There's going to be a lot of things that are... The thing is, whatever's in the 12th house, whatever we're doing in the 12th house, because it's ruled by Uranus, we're not clear. It's the hangman energy, right? We don't have a lot of clarity whenever we're in the 12th house. They're very easy to be drawn in by illusions of situations of other people. It's very easy for us to become the martyr in a situation or to allow ourselves to be victimized in a situation. I know that sounds negative, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's your story. This is a general message, but that's what happens in the 12th house. There's also a lot of creativity that goes on here, right? So when you put mental Mercury who rules Gemini and Virgo is the problem solver of the zodiac. Gemini is the great communicator and the student of learning all things new, right? 6th house, not only is 6th house that Virgo energy about problem solving, but it also rules our health and our day-to-day experience. So you're going to be thinking about your day-to-day experience, your mental, physical, emotional health, what it is that you want from yourself. What do you need to learn? What does somebody else in your life need to learn? You're going to be thinking about all of these things very, very deeply. It's like a visceral kind of epiphanies that you're going to be realizing here, okay? And then, now, on the 12th, we have Jupiter conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. This is going to be happening in your 2nd house of resources. So when I say 2nd house, yes, it's your money, but it's anything and everything that you value, from money, the roof over your head, the food you put in your mouth, right? That's 2nd house. 2nd house is everything that we value. And this is a really good thing, guys. Jupiter conjuncting Pluto. What does that mean? Jupiter is about luck and expansion and moving forward with integrity. Okay? A conjunction is working on integrating energies, okay? And then Pluto rules transformation and realizing, digging underneath what is meant for us, right? It's realizing what needs to be over, and it's realizing what we need to allow ourselves to open up to, right? So it's this integration of beautiful Jupiter about luck and expansion and change, and they're integrating. Having this in your house of value, you're realizing things about money. You're realizing things about, and when I say realize, I don't only mean realize, I mean things are going to be working in your favor. So things, if you've been very stagnant or very confused about what you're going to do for money, where your money is going to come from, things having to do with anything, having to do with your home, having to do with, even if, let's say you've been in this space where it's like, I've been eating really healthy, why am I not feeling so great? You're looking at the food that you put in your mouth differently, like literally everything that you value. So I really like that. And then on the 14th, we have Mars stationing direct in Aries. Now, this is the thing. Mars has been retrograde. Once it stations direct and comes out of that post-shadow, it's going to be forward movement in whatever area this has been hitting you in. And this has been hitting you in your 5th house of fun, of romance, falling in love, love affairs, how you connect with a partner on Monday through Sunday. It has to do with your relationship with your children. It has to do with your creativity, your entrepreneurial efforts. The 5th house is big. It's what you do for you that you incite from a creative perspective. That's why it's children, as well as your own business, as well as your hobbies. These are things that you start falling in love. You have to be present for that. This rules like the act of sex, and again, how you and your partner connect with each other. So there's been a lot of stagnation there for sure. Now, I wish I could say that once Mercury stations direct, everything's going to be like, woo, free and easy. No, this week, everything is going to be heightened so that the release can happen. And I hope that makes sense to you. This is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. So the emotions can be, brought to this precipice for good or bad. Like you might be like, I don't want to live without you anymore. I want to fix this one last time. I want to give this a go. Or I can't do this anymore. I need to end it. Or, whatever it is. Great energy for actually giving birth for those of you in that space, for sure, to anything. I want to start my own business. I want to leave that job. So even though the energy is very heightened while you're in it, there's so much goodness and forward movement on the other side, because once it's realized over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be able to unknot itself and sort of really kind of start running forward. So I feel like you guys have it a little bit everywhere right now, which you guys are going to have right now anyway, right? Because you're the south node of the moon for the next year anyway. So you got a little bit, you have stuff going on very deeply introspectively within your resources, within relationship, but I see there being a lot of forward movement coming into the middle of November. Way better than it's been, there's no question. All right, so we're going to get started on the relationships section, and I'm going to pull Island Time Wellness, the Oracle, for our crowning energies, and we're starting off with passion. Nice start. Insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. Now remember, when we use these oracles, it does not have to be all of the tag words and phrases. It can be one, it can be two, it can be all of them, although that's rare. So I definitely have this, getting this really good, there's good chemistry here. Okay, let's see, we have heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling, loss, grieving, mourning. The butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child with growth. Soulmate, soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. One more. Love call. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. Yeah, so, all right. Let me just say, I'm getting a few different messages here, so let me go with the obvious one is that some of you have been in some sort of broken up situation, or you're in a negative phase or a downward phase or a challenging sort of phase within your relationship. Doesn't mean that you guys are not very attracted to each other. There is that chemistry there, but there's this hurt. Now the hurt can come from a number of things, right? The separation could be real or it could be metaphorical. We could feel heartbroken and separated from people that we sleep with every night, right? I mean, it really is kind of more of a mindset. Doesn't mean that you guys are not attracted to each other. But what I like about this is what I'm getting is the crowning energy is that there's going to be this evolution and this healing that's going to be happening, and the recognition that you guys have this soul connection. And you guys communicating, okay? So that's how it could come out for those of you who are together where you're not broken up, but you're just in a challenging cycle, and you guys are going to be having that conversation. Now, this is the thing, guys, and I have to say this. The butterfly and the soulmate energy, they can mean two different things. They could mean evolving into this next phase and healing towards inciting a new cycle to heal things, to keep the relationship together and make it work. Or the butterfly can be the next evolution of your relationship is to actually end it because it's necessary, because you guys have just outgrown each other, or your soul contract has been satisfied. You guys learned everything that you were meant to learn from each other. And I do have to say that. And I know that's hard to hear if you're very much wanting something to work, but it can mean one thing or another. What I do like about this, though, I have to say, is that I get this idea of there being at least recognition, closure, conversation kind of thing going on. And again, it doesn't mean that there's not this connection, but is that connection enough to make it work? This is a general message. It's going to be different for all of you. So for some of you, you're going to be working it out. For others of you, you're going to be sort of together, realizing together that you guys have sort of reached the end of the line and that it's time to cut the cord in a certain way. For those of you who are single, I do feel like even though you're single now, you have gone through something that was quite painful, some sort of soul connection, and there was some sort of lesson that you had to learn, and now you're growing and you're going through a lot of growth. And I do see you meeting somebody new, somebody reaching out to you who's thinking of you, letting you know, maybe somebody you met online, somebody from you, who you were with once upon a time, but there being a lot of chemistry and you allowing yourself to have fun. So these are the different ways that this can manifest. You know what? Let me not take these off. Let me just scooch them over to the end. So we're going to do a past, present, near future final outcome. What do I want to do? Let me use the chakra for this. Okay. 8 of Cups in reverse. In the recent past, fully learning from the past. This can also indicate somebody returning home. The recent past. So that could be maybe you maybe you were living with somebody and you moved out and you went back home to live with your family, or you guys were living together, your partner moved out, or you moved out and you're coming back home. But there's this element of learning fully from the past. And High Priestess reverse in the past. Okay, good. Certain cards we like better in the reverse, and the Devil is definitely one of them. Okay, yeah. King of Swords. It's beautiful. Okay. So we have the 8 of Cups, which I just discussed, right? About fully learning from the past. Someone coming back, someone trying to come back. And we have the Empress reverse. So like what was going on? There's dependence on others. So somebody was overly dependent on you, or you were overly dependent on somebody else. Maybe you guys struggled with fertility issues within a relationship. It could be that. Maybe you guys struggled with limited resources. For others of you, it could be just that you felt like the relationship wasn't going anywhere, right? Because the Empress is the mother of the tarot, because she's all about growth and expansion, right? She's perpetually pregnant. She's a Venus energy, right? So it's all about love, money, feeling good. Do I feel good about being in this? And it's just like, it just wasn't happening, right? So really getting to the core of why was something not working. And I feel like because you guys have all this 12th house Mercury energy going on, within Scorpio nonetheless, which pushes us to kind of really dig deep into things. And not always a very comfortable energy for you guys. Not that you're not capable, certainly you are, but not a comfortable energy for your fiery selves, right? You may not want to really enjoy doing that, but I feel like there is this recognition, right, where there was dependence on somebody overly dependent on you, you overly dependent on somebody else, but there being this issue with like what kept getting in the way of the relationship evolving into that next phase, and you learning from that, whatever it was, you learning from that. And we have that working with the High Priestess reverse and the 3 of Wands. So the High Priestess reverse does indicate clouded insight and your intuition being blocked. and not being able to see something in the recent past, something for what it was. And we have this working with Three of Wands energy, which is about teamwork and expansion and really wanting to move forward. So here you might have been kind of blocked in the past, Sagittarius, from being able to see maybe wanting very much sort of to have this expansion in a relationship with somebody, and you just not being able to recognize where you weren't seeing something. There was something about it that you weren't seeing, or you might have been you might have been in a space of actually thinking you wanted something more than you actually really did want something. You like the idea of something a little more than the reality of something, if that makes sense. Now, for those of you who are single, this clouded insight and blocked intuition in the recent past could have to do with a past relationship, or could just have to do with, you may be sort of having, I'm not going to say like a pie in the sky kind of attitude, but you maybe having some sort of idealized perspective on what was possible about moving forward in a relationship. But there was probably something that you weren't actually seeing. Now, this is whether you're still single, or this could be reflective of a past connection that you were in. But regardless, coming into the current situation, there is this moving away from that, which is really good, right? As the Six of Swords is about this necessary transition and this moving on. For some of you, it's literally a moving out. So it's funny, we get the moving in, we get the moving out energy, but there's movement here. Well, but it's moving, Six of Swords is moving away from something that's toxic, that's just not serving you. And we have the Devil energy, it's about recovery and leaving an abusive situation. So we can't get more direct than this. This is literally leaving something that was toxic, that was not good for you. And whatever that means for you. Right? That's going to mean something different for each of you. And I feel like many of you are in that space right now. We have this working with the Princess of Coins energy, which is about being very patient, this could be very focused on your job right now. You could be very focused on some sort of new connection that you're making right now. It could certainly be that. Or focus on just starting a new cycle. Even if you maybe you don't even want to be with anybody for a minute right now. Because this is current, right? So you might not want to be with anybody right now. We have this working with the Judgment reverse. And this is indicative of denial. Making an error in judgment, but at the same time fearing change and feeling very weak about a situation. So for some of you, and listen, cut yourself a break if you're resonating with this, you may be leaving something that hasn't been working, or it might have been cut away from you, but you're still feeling weak about it. You're still feeling very sort of confused, and there's this lack of clarity. And I get it, because Mercury is in your 12th house, right? As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that 12th house is ruled by Neptune. It's just not going to feel clear to you. That's something you just have to understand right now. It's not going to stay like this, but right now, there's a blessing in that, in the lack of clarity, because things are shifting for you internally. Trust me when I say that. Now, we have this going into the near future. We have the Nine of Wands and the Six of Wands in reverse. All right, listen. The Six of Wands in reverse indicates retreating after failure, right? And just kind of like giving up and not feeling very confident. You're just not feeling confident. You're just sort of like, you know what? But now, look, it's working with the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is about feeling persistent. So this is where I say, oh, we got some confusion going on here. Because in one breath, you're saying, I can't anymore. Like, that whole thing was just all kinds of unhealthy for me. I give up. I don't feel very good about myself when it comes to this situation. Doesn't mean you don't feel good about yourself and you're not confident in other areas. It just means, like, for this particular situation, not feeling good. But then you're like, but I still have a little fire in my belly left for it, So you could be going through a little bit of that internal tug of war while on a psychological level, you're sort of figuring things out. But what I like here, I like the Ten of Wands in reverse, because this is about taking a break and finally saying no. This is about finally feeling this sense of freedom, this lightening up. So even though you might be confused, I feel like you're just allowing yourself to breathe away from the situation. Just breathe, right? And making really good decisions for yourself. You just are. The King of Coins is just being very wise about connections, very wise about mental, physical, emotional connections, right, that you're allowing yourself right now. So I feel like you've been through a lot, but you've certainly learned from it. And now we have in the final outcome, we have the Two of Coins. This is two choices. This is weighing a few options that you're ultimately going to have in relationships, Sagittarius. But what I love here with the Six of Coins is about this idea of generosity and reciprocity and giving and receiving. And again, the coin, when it comes to love, it has to do with mental, physical, emotional connection. So if you're going to give, you're going to get, you're going to be in this kind of beautiful sort of connection, but there's going to be an element of confusion. Now, for some of you, it's going to be like, oh, I have to let that past negative relationship that I know in no way is good for me, I have to just clean that residue the hell off my soul so that I don't sabotage anything moving forward, because I know I can't be in that anymore, and I know I need to focus on this thing moving forward. Or for some of you, it's going to be, you know, I know I need to leave whatever was toxic in the past. I know I need to sort of allow myself some space to breathe if I'm going to revisit and try to rebuild and fix anything in this current relationship. It's how it's going to be for some of you. Those of you who are single, I see you having options. So we have the King of Swords. King of Swords is just very it's obviously it's a very mental energy, right? It's a very strategic energy. You're figuring things out. Lots of beautiful, like, problem-solving vibes here is what I get, right? Now, this is a Capricorn and Aquarius energy. Capricorn rules the 10th house of putting in that hard work. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It's all about the future, right? So putting in the hard work for the future and realizing what it is that you need to do to make a relationship work. Now, we have this working with the Two of Wands in reverse, and this is about plans that you had up until this point in your life falling through, and you realizing that maybe you were thinking a little small for yourself. Maybe you should have been thinking even bigger. Maybe you should have been having higher expectations, or not accepting certain things in relationship that you feel on a very visceral level, and this is very subjective, disrespects you or does not resonate with you, or anything like that. So yeah, but this is about something falling through. Now, I don't mind this with the Two of Coins energy, because I feel like something falling through is going to help you make that decision that you need to make in the Two of Coins energy. And with the King of Swords, I feel like whatever scenario wins out for you, whatever relationship you end up with, whatever non-relationship you end up with, right? Because it might be, I want to just be on my own for a minute. Whatever it is, it's going to be based in the King of Swords energy, which is logic and thought for your future. And with this spin of reality, like, how much work am I willing to put into this, and how capable do I see them as being a partner, right? I mean, are they capable of putting in the work as well with me in a way that's necessary? You follow? And you realizing, like, hey, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe they can't. Two of Wands. Maybe it's not working out. So you go with another option. But either way, however it works out, I feel like it's for your, and I know this sounds very cheesy and rote, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but it really is for your higher good. I guess everything is ultimately at the end of the day, but I do feel like you guys in your own mind, you're going to end up putting yourselves first, and not in a selfish way. Not in a selfish way. You're going to be realizing that the way you've been doing something was just not working, not only for you, but for everyone involved. So there's this idea of integrity. I mean, and you guys are all about that, right? You guys are the sign of integrity. So, yeah. Okay. So let me just pull 3 heart oracles, and then we'll go on to career. Balance. Love is not always about agreeing for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. That's always a tricky one, because you guys are going to be a little confused right now. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised with where it leads. Okay, that's what we have for relationships for our Sagittarius brothers and sisters. Okay, let's get into money and career. See what's on tap energetically for our Sagittarius friends. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's start with the Lenormand. Crowning messages from Lenormand. Oh, wow, something's over. Some sort of adjustment needs to be made. We get the Mars energy. A lot of aggressiveness moving into the future. This is a great card to get since we have Mercury stationing direct for you guys in your 5th house of creativity, right? We have mountains, which indicates having some sort of like challenges that you have to overcome, but you're going to overcome them. Yeah, it's just you're going to have to strategize with the labyrinth. Trying a couple of different things. Taking a chance. Okay, we have the key. There's some sort of information that's available to you. Okay, something that's requiring you to look deeper inside of yourself. And that's where the truth is. All right. So, I don't know, Sagittarius, just from a holistic vibe, I'm just getting very intuitively that you're feeling like you want more, you should have more, you're capable of more. Whether it's you're capable, you deserve, it doesn't really matter. But with the cross, it does indicate that something needs to be ended. This is about redemption, right? This is like Christ out on the cross to redeem us of, right, humankind, of our sins, right? Is the energy, right? It's the story, the idea behind this card. So there's this idea of redemption, but it's only through ending something first. So something needs to be sacrificed, something needs to be ended, which is interesting to me for you guys to get. Because, again, you guys being the south node of the moon right now, the south node is always about whatever sign the south node is in, there is this need to sacrifice in that area. Sacrifice a way of being, thinking, doing, whatever, right? And we all have Sagittarius somewhere in our chart, even if only in our 9th house. But you guys, if you have it as your rising sign, it's in your 1st house of self. If it's your sun sign, I don't know what house you have it in, right? You would have to know your chart. But it is this idea of this needing to release something that you've been doing. And then the Mars energy, this guy is all about focusing on a fresh path, a new perspective, feeling very confident, very energetic, and moving forward. Now, there are going to be some obstacles, and there's going to be a lot of trial and error and taking chances. But the thing is, once you get in touch with whatever this is for you, and you have to dig a little deeper inside of yourself, as when we have the key is all about, are you going to keep the rose, which is benefit, which is happiness, which is creation? Are you going to keep it hidden in that gilded cage? Are you going to allow the key to lock the cage and keep that part of you, that creative element, that idea that you're having, that thing that's bothering you, that's poking at you, that you want to do? Are you going to keep that part of yourself in a gilded cage, or are you going to keep it open? And are you going to dig deeper into yourself? Because the reality here is you can have whatever it is that your mind is set on, whatever you see in your mind's eye, but there's something that you need to look at more closely. There's something about yourself or the situation way at the bottom that you need to recognize, because there is, but whatever it is, whatever you're going to be finding there, right, is going to be your truth. And this is very necessary. But when we get it in the, because white feather always means truth, when we get it in the letter of in the way of the letter, which is like snail mail, as we say these days, right? It's something is evolving and unfolding in your life kind of slowly, but very, very, there's this slow unfolding. Like if you look back at the past couple of months, you're going to be able to see, you should be able to see this sort of unfolding of something going on having to do with money or career. It might not have anything to do with your job per se. This might have to do with investments or some sort of family situation having to do with inheritance, anything like that. It could certainly be that. But there's going to be this new, this figuring out a new strategy, looking at something more closely, and just understanding that whatever it is that you're moving yourself into, it's different than what you've been in, and it's where you're ultimately meant to go. So I hope that was helpful for you guys as a crowning, and let's pull some cards. So we're going to pull the lights here. Same idea, past, present, future, final outcome. Okay, we have the death and rebirth in the reverse. This is about stagnation, inertia, having a lot of hope and faith in something that ended up falling through in the recent past, maybe feeling rather stuck in the recent past. We have the King of Cups. Now that could be you, or that could be general energetic influence of somebody who's very supportive, tolerant, very empathetic. Okay, and then we have the Four of Swords. So this is in the current energy, this is in the near future. And this is the final outcome. Let me pull another layer. Ooh, we got the Tower. Devil reverse. We like the Devil reverse better. Five of Cups reverse. We like the Five of Cups reverse better. Yeah, some of these reversals we like way better. Okay. All right, yeah, so the Tower is just, obviously it's about an ending, an unwanted change in the time, right, in your recent past. This could be some sort of disgrace of a situation, some sort of upheaval, really. It could just be simply an upheaval. But the thing is with the Tower energy, a couple things. First of all, it's a Mars energy. And Mars always watches our back in making sure that we're on the right path that's meant for our highest good. And if we're not, Mars comes in as the Tower and says, come on, honey, we got to go on this path. I've been showing you the red flags. I've been showing you the expiration date, and you have not been seeing it. And, part of the human condition, you can't beat yourself up for it. But the lights get thrown on and something falls apart. Now, for some of you, this could be an internal Tower, right? Having to do with your career or money, where you're realizing that something that you've been a way of thinking about money, or the way of, thinking about career, your career, what it is that you ultimately want to do, you might realize it actually hasn't even been serving you all that great, and you're just not happy in how you've been approaching things. So you're realizing, if I keep doing more of what I did, I'm going to keep getting what I got. So you pulling down some sort of belief system that you've had about how it is that you do make money. So some of you can just be like, you know what, I don't want to work for corporate anymore. I want to open my own business, or I want to start something online. I want to get away from this, or, anything like that. That would definitely be a Tower moment as well. Towers aren't always negative. They're just disruptive more than anything, is a great way of looking at that. And to get the Tower is good to get with the Death in reverse, because this means that the Tower is breaking up the stagnation. It's breaking up the feeling stuck, and it's pushing to feel a certain way, right? And in that process, we have this idea of recovery and leaving a situation that just was not working for you with the Devil energy, right? And really just sort of focusing on an energy, surrounding yourself with an energy. Maybe you're dealing with a new person who's very supportive, very tolerant, very empathetic. Again, this could be a new boss, a new business partner, or you just feeling this general sense of, just this general sense of, getting out of that is the right thing for me. I'm going to just show myself some really beautiful empathy, and I'm going to be tolerant with myself, and I'm going to be supportive of my own dreams and what it is that I want moving forward, Right now, there is this moving on energy. The Five of Cups reverse is moving on in forgiveness and hope returning, and you entering the space of recovering, because of whatever it is. So the recovery can come in the way of, let's say you were fired, or a business partnership, fell apart. You kind of recovering from that, and there being forgiveness. Or if you ended up quitting, and you being forgiven for that, whatever the case would be. We have this working with the Four of Swords in the reverse. So the Four of Swords in reverse is about feeling super restless, to the point where you might be feeling a little almost anxious, like a little anxiety. But like, be careful if you're feeling like this right now, where, because you kind of like on overload, like everything is sort of like boiling to the top, because that can end up creating some sort of burnout. But everything is based though on, you feel so ready to act, Now, I wanted to tell you, you are so going to be feeling this when Mars is stationing direct. This is kind of what I was referring to at the beginning of the video, where when any planet stations direct, whether it's Mercury, whichever planet, when it stations direct, take all of that energy and concentrate it in like the tip of a pen. And it was like, kind of thing. But it's to push, the energy over to the other side to start kind of unknotting itself. Right? Think about an energy that's been in a ball and now it's like, boom, and now it's going to start to unknot itself, kind of like that, right? So again, this is all happening in your 5th house, which is your house of creativity. So you might be feeling like, okay, I want to start this thing. I want to go, right? And we have this working with the 7 of Cups in reverse. And again, this is great. This is about clarity, having great clarity, the illusion ending about something, you having a restored sense of self when it comes to money, when it comes to your career and where it is that you're going in your life, which is really good. Beautiful. And we have this with the Empress, because it's gorgeous. Because the Empress is Venus. Venus is one of the money planets, first of all, but it's also the planet of growth and opportunity. This is about abundance, right? I mean, it's straight up Venus right here. Beautiful. So good. So I get it. The energy is like, right, all the way up to the top. And you're just like, I want to go. I want to do. I want to, put whatever happened in the past, and I just want to move forward. So in the near future, we have the 6 of Swords in the reverse. So this is an inability to move on, some sort of stagnation issue. So there could be this idea that, you started entering into something and maybe you started to have a little bit of analysis paralysis. You started to overthink something. Maybe something started to not go exactly as you saw it to be, and you felt like, I don't know if I did the right thing, kind of thing. That's okay. Let this again, a little stagnancy is okay right now. It's not going to stay. All right, but a little stagnancy is okay right now. We have this working with the 6 of Wands energy, and be careful of this again, because this is about retreating after failures, like giving up on something because you're lacking confidence. So don't allow a little burp in the road or a little bump or whatever. Burp in the road. Where did I get that from? Anyway, don't allow that to dampen your spirits. Don't allow that to really kind of inhibit your ability to move on, right? Because I feel like you might be. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed. It's working with this 5 of Pentacles energy, which is about worry and financial loss and feeling isolated. But the thing is, very important to understand here, are you listening? This is very psychological. You might have everything that you need, but you're in a space of worrying and a space of questioning yourself and feeling insecure about something. And it doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you're human and you're doing something new. There is more support surrounding you, though, Sagittarius, than you actually realize, And we have this working with the Judgment reverse. This is all about denial and an error in judgment and being afraid of change and feeling weak because of the change. So I see in your near future, don't get in your own way. Don't. Okay? Because really right here, this whole near future indicates that to me, that you're going to be very worried, and it's going to be based on you feeling very scared about something. So my goodness, play this back if you need to. Yeah, because you got this 5 of Swords. This is a bullying energy. This is theft. This is some sort of abusive situation. So you might be feeling like somebody is siphoning money out of the business, and you might be right. You got to look at that. You might just be having this argument. It could even be within yourself, but you might be dealing with this bullying energy, or this confrontational, really more than anything kind of energy. But with the 9 of Wands in the reverse, this indicates isolation ending. This indicates having faith in something, right? But at the same time, Sagittarius, there is this element of low level, maybe not so level, paranoia and sense of defensiveness, feeling like you need to defend yourself. You You could be in that space of feeling like you need to defend yourself. Yeah, we have it working with the Lover's energy. And this is having an argument. This could be just discord, regret, making some bad choices. And the Four of Pentacles in the upright is about just a very strong desire for long-term security, but you also might be dealing with either greed within yourself or somebody else. So this is the thing that I see here, just to sort of reiterate. I see you leaving something, getting into something else, or at least something maybe similar, but in a new way. And then I see there being this incredible fear, and this maybe like buyer's remorse, analysis paralysis, sort of not feeling great about the direction that something is going, questioning yourself, not totally sure if it's going to work out, right? Now I see some sort of movement happening here though, where there is going to be conversation, even though it may be in the form of an argument. Absolutely, there's going to be argument here. But it's all going to be in the name of solidifying a solid future for yourself. So I say the energy here does indicate, like, keep it going. Like, don't, let me just pull one more card on that final Four of Pentacles with the Lover's reverse. Yeah, the High Priestess, good. Yeah, I mean, so definitely trust yourself. Trust your intuition right now. Whatever you have, whatever you're feeling, trust yourself. Yeah, we have the Queen of Swords energy, which indicates that you're dealing with somebody who can be rather dishonest, unkind, cold, rigid energy. Just don't allow it. Don't allow it. Nope, Chariot, get the hell out of Dodge. That's it. Go. This is about action and change and moving away from something that is really not even meant for you. We have the Two of Cups in reverse. This is leaving a situation. The King of Pentacles, and this is about making some really solid and practical choices for yourself, being very practical and wise investment, wise. So I feel like you're just dumping off at the corner anybody who is toxic. But I feel like, Sagittarius, why do I feel like you end up with these energies that are just toxic and just not on the same level as you are when it comes to money, or at least investments of some sort, or having to do with finances. Again, it doesn't only have to do with your career. It can, of course, but this could have to do with outside investments. This could have to do with, any sort of investments, investment opportunities having to do with any kind of payout. This could have to do with any kind of settling of a court case, inheritance, anything like that. Because again, we have all the Scorpio energy especially, right? And Scorpio is that 8th house. The 8th house does rule the stock market, inheritance, payouts, all of that. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Interesting mix of energies, I have to tell you guys. Yeah, I mean, look, it's only for a week. It's nothing like the end, but something to look out for. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster for you. So, yeah. We have Mars, we have Aries. Yeah, I mean, we have fresh path, a new perspective having to do with partnerships. I mean, absolutely. We have Mars, Aries, and we have the 7th house. Aries is ruled by Mars. That's the first house. It's the Emperor energy. That's about fresh path, new perspective. Let's go in and get this done. And the 7th house is partnerships, not only marriage, but business partnerships, right? And it's business partnerships. It's people that we have a shared soul purpose with. And it's looking at, remember, 7th house's rule is, the landlord is Libra, ruled by Venus. So really looking at how do you feel in a situation? How fair is it? How fair is it? What's the money like, right? Because Venus is also a money planet. Chiron, healing. Yep. So Chiron's a great energy to get in a career reading, in the career aspect, because it is about healing. It's also right now currently retrograde in Aries until the middle of December. So there's going to be a lot of realization within your career about things that you've allowed to go on, mistakes you've made, lots of epiphanies, lots of learning, lots of growth and releasing. Great energy for personal development. But while you're going through this, don't be surprised if you're feeling a lot of self-doubt. Don't be surprised if you're identifying a lot of generational trauma within yourself. you know, maybe realizing, oh, hey, you know what, this happened to my father or my mother, and there, you know, maybe I'm repeating some sort of cycle here. But there is this softening and this forgiveness in that area about it. Beautiful. We got the part of fortune increase. So whatever you're realizing here is absolutely going to be to your benefit, and you're on a more positive trajectory. So whatever you're dropping off at the corner as far as like negative energy, it's bringing you into a more positive space. So good stuff, I'm thinking. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.